Welcome to Get Celebritized. I'm your host, Aurea McGarry, and I am here, as always, bringing you amazing people to help you earn more, live a big, vivacious, wonderful, juicy legacy life of your dreams, and help you give more to the causes and people and charities that matter most to you. So today, I have somebody that's really going to help you earn more. If you want to lean in and take action, she is an entrepreneur extraordinaire. Her name is Orly Amor, like a more of love. And I love this woman. She's an international public speaker and business coach for public speakers. She's the founder of Orly Amor Enterprises, helping entrepreneurs and business owners monetize their message through public and professional speaking, and she guarantees her work. When was the last time you heard that? She guarantees you will earn a six-figure income each and every year if you put her secret tips into action exactly the way she teaches you to do that, and I am an example of that. So let me bring her up. Orly, get up here, my beautiful friend. Woo! Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Aurea. I appreciate it.
Orly, I'm so excited to have met you just a few months ago, and it seems like I have known you forever. You are an extraordinary woman, and you really do help people get out there and speak, and you guarantee $150,000 a year and then some. So talk to us about how you got into this before we give them some secret special tips to help them do this as well.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And that's a great question. Like, how did it start for me? I was in property management for 25 years. And one day, one of my girlfriends asked me to come and speak at a women's shelter. And I said, why do you want me to speak about property management? I kind of laughed at her, right? And so she said, well, I want you to come and tell your story. And at the time, I was not really ready to tell my story, my personal story, although she and another friend knew about it. I really didn't want to share it. I felt like I was going to be judged or scrutinized, dissected, and I didn't really want that to be out there. I was really doing well in property management. I was a local expert on Channel 10, WPLG in Florida. I've been doing it forever and a day. And she said, no, I want you to come and tell your story. But, if you have an annoying friend, you'll understand this. She called every single day for 3 weeks asking me to speak at this women's shelter. And I still refused. And after
I love annoying friends like that. They're your welcoming friends. I love that.
And finally, I said to her, I said, well, why do you want me? I mean, there's other people that speak on this topic. Why would you like me to speak there? She said, well, you have this bubbly personality. Everywhere we go, networking, people hug you. People who don't even know you hug you. And you're living a lifestyle that most people dream about. Come and give this women hope.
Yeah.
Well, she was really annoying. So after a few back and forth, I said, okay, I'll do it. And a few months later, I was speaking at this women's shelter. And after I got done speaking, first of all, there was not one dry eye in the place. And when I got off the stage, something very weird happened to me because I was speaking in property management all over the country, but I never realized this kind of feedback. So when I got off the stage, people were coming to me and hugging me, saying, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me hope. Thank you for sharing. And that's when I realized, wow, this is really weird, right? It was my first motivational speech. You have to understand. So one lady came up to me and she was crying profusely. We couldn't even shut her up. And at one point I said, listen, you got to calm down. She said, no, you don't understand. I said, no, I do understand, sweetheart. Calm down. And back and forth we went, and everybody around us was kind of listening in and getting quiet. And all of a sudden she yelled at me, no, you don't understand. And I was really taken aback. I have goosebumps telling you this. And she took out a piece of paper out of her pocket and she showed it to me. And she said, you see here? This is how I was going to kill myself this morning. In fact, I don't even remember driving from my house to the shelter because you see here, that's not where I was going.
Wow.
But I heard you speak and I want to live. I just need you to show me how. And that was where I lost it. Aurea, you got to know that I was trying to be strong and everything for everyone, but that was not something I expected. So in my head, it was not like, oh, wow, this is cool. No, it was like, oh my God, I just saved somebody's life. And so to give you my story in like 15 seconds is that I was a beaten up child. I was also bullied. I was molested 4 times before the age of 14. I was raped 3 times before the age of 22, twice gang raped, 9 months apart, left for dead. I was also married to a very abusive husband, both mentally and physically. And as a result of that, I had 4 abortions and I gained a morbid amount of weight. I was 428 pounds at my heaviest. So to be in that situation and realize that my story had a meaning, I realized that I had to do something else than property management. And
Mhm.
that was my pivotal point for starting in this business at all.
Orly, I know your story because I know you, and it just always, brings me to such, inspiration when you talk about that story. It's just like always like a wow, and I take back. Talk to the viewers and the listeners about, I like to dig into those little spots in our life where a lot of people don't dig into, because you just mentioned a whole lot of trauma. Then you mentioned that you were in property management and now you're this wonderful coach for speakers. Talk to us about how you went from where you just said you were all this abuse, morbidly obese, and then were you in property management at the time? How did you make that transition? Because there's some key valuable nuggets in there on how you took that step. Because there's people right now in the bad place, whether they've been abused or whether they're trying to get out of a bad marriage, whether they're just at that rock bottom, that place where you felt before you were moved up into the world. Like, you've lost a lot of weight. You look amazing. You're healthy. Nobody would look at you now and think you even had any of that in your background. So talk to us about what made that difference for you taking that steps forward to a new you, a new life.
It's not easy to be strong and say, okay, I've had it, enough is enough. I was listening to people like Tony Robbins and Steve Covey and other people, and I read the books and I've attended the seminars. But then I realized that all of that will not change unless I implement it. And that's really my pivotal point. I was educated, I have an MBA and a law degree, and I'm an educated person. But what I felt was that I wasn't good enough, or people would still judge me, and I just didn't want to be judged. So after a while, I decided that I won't care what people think. Even my current husband, who's a sweetheart, sometimes he goes, "Why don't you care about what people think?" I just don't care what people think. I've trained myself to not care what other people think of me, because everybody has a story. Everybody has something that they've been through. It's not a competition of stories. It's not a competition of did I get more done of my circumstances, and did you get more done because of your circumstances. I just don't go that route. So that was one pivotal point of where I am and what I am,
I mean, how
how
long
I
ago was
pivoted.
that? How long ago was that? Because this
That
was this like 10 years ago, or this just a
This
few
was
years
in
ago?
that was in 2006. So it wasn't that long ago where I just decided that I'm going to become a public speaker. And I just decided that this is not going to be something, but I was already a public speaker in the uh, property management arena for a few years before.
Gosh,
From 1998 I started. So 1998 I started speaking in property management, but in 2006 is where this story happened. And it's
gotcha.
kind of funny because I tell that story in both of my books. Yeah, I have a book called Mindset Mastery: The 12 Powers We Hold Within, which is my mindset mastery type of thing. And then I have a book called Public Speakers You're Not All That: 12 Reasons Why Event Planners Won't Hire You, right?
I love that.
And
That's the one I'm reading now. I
yeah,
absolutely love that.
in that book, in both books, I tell the story of the shelter, so people will know what happened that day, how it all started, what really happened. And in the car, it's talking. The story is told by my friend Chris, who
Okay.
actually wrote the story, but he was with me. And in the car from the shelter, he says that he told me to write a book and so on, and convinced me to write the book. But the truth of what happened in the car was I was crying profusely and I was saying, screw property management. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because that's when I realized that I had more impact, and I could really change people's lives. Where in property management, it's technical, it's law, it's ego stuff. I'm not,
Right.
I never want to go back.
So, well, you're not going back. We're not going to let you because you're just too good at what you're doing now. So, too many of us need you for sure.
Right.
So, now, you talked about that pivotal moment. And as a speaker myself, I've had those moments when I would be speaking to domestic violence abusers and in those places. And boy, they really do touch your heart. And you and I have experienced it ourselves. And I had a woman come up to me at the end of one of my presentations, and she said that when she was born, she was standing there pregnant. She said, when my mother had me, she goes, she had me, she was like 8.5 months pregnant, but her father beat up her mom so intensely while she was pregnant that she was born prematurely, a couple of weeks, which wasn't too bad, but with a broken arm. So he beat her so hard while she was pregnant with her that her arm, she was born with a broken arm. And I just cringed. And in those moments in time, you're doing the right thing, because she was in an abusive relationship. She goes, I am going to get out. She didn't get out for 2 more years, but she did reach back out to me to tell me she was safe and thanked me for a speech I did 2 years earlier. So it is so important. So, Orly, I'm so glad you're helping business owners, entrepreneur, educators, people that have a message, to get out there and get paid to do their message, because that's the only way we'll take time to do it on a regular basis. We all love volunteering. That's all great. But you really help people turn it into a business so they can do it full time. Because you always tell us, Orly, the world needs us. The world needs us to show up. So, okay, now you're going from, you're not in shape, you're feeling probably not great about yourself, and you've had this moment on the stage and you save a life. How now do you start getting yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally in shape? Was it a person that helped you? I know you have all the speakers, you say you take action, but was there anybody in particular that took your hand and said, you can do this? Talk to us a little about the support that helped you go from that to where you are now.
Like I said earlier, not everybody is as strong, right? I basically just took it upon myself to say that I will not be victimized again. It's a decision, right? Tony Robbins called it, to decide is to cut off from. You got to cut off from your past. You got to cut off from your habits. You got to cut off. I mean, I went, not strategically. I went, what do you call it, cold turkey. I went basically, and not, that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that I did a surgery. I did the gastric bypass. And that, when I first did the gastric bypass, it took 6 months and I lost 85 pounds. That was great. But then I gained some back right away because I started eating normally.
Yeah,
Thought that I could eat normally. And then I said, oh no, I did not go through all that to just gain it back. So I took it upon myself and I said, okay, we're going to cut some habits right now. So I cut all sodas. Like I don't touch soda anymore. Once in a blue moon, and
even diet sodas.
Even diet sodas. Yeah.
They really mess up your metabolism.
But even then, I mean, I just don't even like the taste anymore. Like I'll try some and then I'll leave it right there, just to see if I still like it, but I don't. I drink water mostly, and that's it. I don't even like alcohol. So it's not because I was alcoholic or anything like that. I just never liked alcohol, never liked it. My husband wants me to drink wine with him, and I'll take a little sip with a lot of ice in it just to say that I had a sip. Like I really
peer pressure, peer pressure.
Like, yeah, peer pressure. But I really just wanted to not be that way anymore. I didn't want to be re-victimized. Many of us going through this pity party, and we all have a pity party. There's not one person on the planet that doesn't have pity parties.
Of course. You just don't want to last too long.
It's just, exactly. It's about really, and then I started studying the brain. So I took psychology for a couple of years. I studied the brain. I got myself certified as a behavior analyst. I started working as a profiler, and I started teaching that in corporations. And then everybody got on the bandwagon. It was really amazing. And I tell people that you need to share your story, because in the act of sharing, there's contribution. You just don't know whose life you're going to change. And so for me, it's more about what I did was really on my own. And no, I cannot give any kind of kudos to anybody that took me by the hand. It was the books. It was taking upon myself. But I do, yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, I've really done everything on my own. I've hired coaches before, but
Of
not
course.
for that. I've hired coaches for finances. I've hired a coach for speaking, and
Right.
I thought I was good, but then I'm like, I got a real wake up call, right?
You actually remind me of Tony Robbins, where Tony Robbins read those 600 books. He goes, he just was an avid reader and he absorbs knowledge really well to synthesize it for the rest of us. And you have that capability where I could see you just 'cause of what I know from you. Like I said, I feel like I've known you forever. I've only known you a couple of months now, but you really are very smart in your way and you grasp ideas really well and in a different way than like the average bear, I should say, because you really get things out of them and you're able then to teach to others just by taking the course or reading the book. And that's a skill set that you have. So let's talk now about how you do help people, because I know I just took your course. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you teach people, anyone who wants to speak for a living, to speak for profit, how to do it. So talk to us a little bit about somebody who's never met you before and saying, okay, could I, can I? Who can you help do this? And you've got a really great guarantee in place. So tell us what it is you do to help people speak for a living.
So I believe everybody has a message inside of them. Many people don't know what they want to speak about because they have so much that they want to talk about. I'll just tell you this, and this is what I tell to most people that I speak to on a regular basis, is that I don't know how old you are, and it doesn't really matter to me, but everything you've been through in life until this point, you've paid for it. You've paid for it with money, time, education, blood, sweat, tears, aggravation, ups and downs. All of it counts as a story and your story. And somebody is willing to pay for that. It's your intellectual property. Now, the business of public speaking has shifted so much. I've been in it now for 27 years full time. And I can tell you that it's shifted crazy. And people are still wondering if they can get paid their worth. Absolutely.
Especially
Because
after the pandemic.
well, even before, before that, the pandemic, we were at 78,000 events a day that paid speakers. And now we are at 64,000 events a day that pay speakers.
Now you're saying a day. I hope everybody's hearing that. 64,000 a day. Is that just in
A day.
America or
No,
worldwide?
Canada and the United States. No, we didn't count the world. I don't even know what the world would be because it would be a lot more than that, of course. It's every country, every day. There's events happening all the time. And you just don't know where you fit or where you would be wanted. That's all.
Yeah, but you helped us know that we can get paid because I know when I met you, I remember our community, we got stuck in this rut of thinking we have to speak to sell. And nobody we thought was paying speakers because they wanted us all to be on the stage free so we could sell our wares, our books, our programs, sell at the back of the audience. And you flipped us on our heads. Tell us what the real story is right now in this day and age.
So, many coaches that, I say this, and I know no disrespect to anyone really. Those who can't teach, right? And so many people who have been speaking, used to make money in speaking and then discovered pay to play, which is you paid the promoter to get you on the stage, or speak to sell, where you don't get paid and you don't pay, but you go there and you sell from stage. And in some cases, they also want a percentage of your sales. Now, I've never done that. I don't know how to do it. And I've never been good at it when I did learn how to do it. So I decided that I'm not going to do it. It's just that simple, right? I was like, okay, I have something to share, but you're going to pay me, right? And nobody taught me. When I started, nobody, not even the speakers that I was friends with, would tell me what I need to do, what I need to have. So everything I learned was on my own, trial and error. And with time, I realized, you know what? There is a business in this. And it's kind of funny. I can tell you a story if you'd like me to.
I want you to tell us the story of, I love this story, when you were the only one getting paid. So tell us that story. And
That's the one I want to share.
Good. I love that one. It's my favorite because it really opened my eyes when I first met you that, you have not because you ask not. And you come to the forefront with, your value. And you also, I want you to tell everyone about how many event planners you have interviewed, because you don't come to us with just grabbing at straws. You've done your homework and you have talked to thousands of event planners. So tell us the story and a little bit about what you know about event planners, because you've spoken to so many.
So first, I'm going to tell you that it's really amazing in this industry how many people don't get paid because they don't know, right? And so what happened to me was very simple. In 2010, I told my business coach that I would like to impact the lives of 200 million people around the planet by 2025. Long story short, that was the end of the conversation. And in my head, I always go by two mantras. One by Les Brown, The How is Not Your Business. And the second one is by Sir Richard Branson, who says, when an opportunity knocks, say yes and figure it out later. So I've built all my businesses that way, and that's why it's been successful. I just build it and they will come. But in the business of public speaking, it wasn't so. And one day I had, in May of 2010, I had a lot of my friends who are speakers around my pool. And I was hearing them talk about not getting paid to speak. So they were just complaining to each other. And overhearing that, I said, guys, what are you talking about? Minimum wage in public speaking is 150K a year. And they all looked at me like if I was crazy. What are you talking about, Orly? Some of us make 50, some of us make 60, and some of us 80, but 100, that's kind of pushing it. 150, you're out of your mind. And I said, okay, you do you, I'll do me. And I left it at that. But in my head, I was thinking, well, thank God I didn't tell them that I tripled that. After a couple of weeks, I was on my way to Europe. I was speaking in 7 countries. And then on my way back, I was speaking in Arlington, Texas, where I was just in the break room for speakers. I just got there. I was jet lagged. I was tired. And so I was having some tea. And these 3 guys, obviously speakers, came over to me. And one of them said, aren't you Orly Amor? I said, yeah, do I know you? Sorry, don't remember. And they said, no, we've never met before, but we've seen you on the circuit. I said, oh, okay, cool. So now we're talking and just networking. And after about 10 minutes, one of them says to me, listen, I'm just curious. How did you get this gig? And I said, I don't know. I called. I told them what I speak about. They paid me and I'm here. They all looked at me like if I had 3 heads. You got paid? And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? That was in my head. I was panicking. I said, you guys didn't? They said, no, we got our expenses paid, but we didn't get paid. And I was feeling mortified. I said, well, I got paid and I got my expenses paid. And they said, well, we want to know how you did that. And jokingly, because I had to ease up the tension in myself, I said, well, if I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to charge you. But I was just kidding. And before I could say, just kidding, they said, okay, name your price. And I'm like, what?
A business is born.
Let's talk about it later. And I had to go see the event planner because I just realized what I did. And I said, listen, I'm so sorry. I have no idea that I had no idea, but I just told 3 guys that I got paid. She's like, shh, you're the only one who got paid. There were 60 speakers there.
And that's an aha moment, Orly. There's 60 speakers. 59
like that.
were not paid. You were the only one to get paid. There is, genius in that you need to be teaching. So keep going.
Well, I just didn't know what happened. And then she said, no, you're the only one. And I said, really? That's weird. She's like, well, most of them are just used to selling in the back of the room. So you're the only one else to get paid. And I'm like, oh, okay. Weird, right? Because I don't sell from the back of the room, although I have people that do come to me and do hire me, even though I don't sell from stage. And then I decided, oh, I'm going to teach that to my clients, not to sell from stage at all. Let's just get the business, right?
And you started learning a lot about event planners that moment, how you can negotiate, how people get what they get because they ask, and how there's no harm in expecting what you expect and having negotiating power. So you really dived into a lot of event planners after that. So talk to us about how many you talked to, because it's part of your book.
Yes, I was tired of hearing others, coaches of public speaking business. I was tired of hearing that we need a book, that you need a podcast, that you need a website, that you need a press kit. There's so many. I wrote 20 of them down. And no, you don't need any of that. That you need a following, that you need an email list, or that you need a niche or a signature talk. All of these are myths. They are not true. I was so tired of hearing doing that I decided to call some of my friends who are event planners. I just started with them first. And then I said, listen, I just have a sweet question to ask you. Can I get you on a phone call for about 5 minutes, right? And that's how it started. And then I said, okay, now that I know this from my friends, maybe I should go on and on and on. And then I put a goal up, right? Orly is so dramatic. She puts the biggest goals on her calendar. I mean, it's ridiculous. I put 4,000 event planners on my thing that I want to introduce, that I want to interview. And after about 4.5 years of my own time and my own dime, I only got there like 3,472 of them. And
That's still a lot.
I know, right? But I had so much pressure from everybody that I was telling that I'm interviewing event planners.
And what's one of the biggest things you learned by interviewing over 3,000 event planners? And I don't want to give away all your secret sauces, but what is one of the key things you learned by talking to them that potential speakers need to know?
Well, one of the things that they say, most of them, 98%, if you will, say that speakers don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. That's why they don't know how much to ask for. Some of them are okay with speaking for a stipend or for $500 or for a ticket to the event. Stop doing that, guys, because what happens is that you're actually killing the industry. That's why the event planners are thinking, well, why pay for the milk when I can get the whole cow for free? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, literally, why would they pay when everybody is willing to pay to not be paid? So it's gotten harder for us because it's gotten, there's every morning somebody wakes up and says, oh, I'm a public speaker. I want to make money. And they go out there and speak for free because somebody out there also told them that they need to speak 100 times for free before getting paid. That is such a bold lie. It's not true. I can take somebody that's never been on stage before and they can get paid. The only thing you do need is confidence that you are worthy of getting paid.
That's the first step to like, I want to say, reaching out to you, maybe just even as a little confidence, because you build the confidence so much in your course. And I love that you show in your course those things that are like light bulb moments that an event planner first and foremost will see within a split second when you send out emails that'll show you're an amateur and will determine whether you get paid or get trashed, or maybe they want to actually do it for free because they instinctively already know from some of the most common mistakes people make. We're not going to tell them now. They're going to have to call you.
Oh, no, we can tell them.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things we can tell them.
Yeah, there were some really key things in there. So go ahead. That made a difference, that you enlightened all of us too. Like, if you do this, they're going to know you're an amateur. They're going to know they don't need to pay you. If you do this. So there's a lot of don'ts in your course as well as do's. And a lot of them was very, and not as obvious as you would think. And even someone like me, I've been speaking for decades as well. You really lightened me on some things that I had never heard of before as well.
So that's what I talk about mostly, is that if speakers they're so desperate to get paid or so desperate to get on a stage that they write these long ass emails to an event planner. And here's what I talk about. And here's what I talk about. They don't even know if it's the right person. Like, it's like, yeah, here it is. And here it is. And if you need me, here's everything I speak about, right? And it's like, it's so long, I call it like a Megillah. In the Jewish religion, it's like the story of Queen Esther. And the scroll is so long that it can wrap the planet, right? And people usually say to me, really? I'm like, yeah, those long emails, nobody's reading them. That's number one. So biggest mistake. Number two mistake is reaching out to event planners through LinkedIn. It's not that you can't reach out. It's that you should not reach out through LinkedIn because they are going to blacklist you. So stop getting blacklisted and you can get their information and go email them personally from your email. That's what you should be doing.
So that's a great point, because most people think of LinkedIn as a great connection. Let's go to LinkedIn and let's make money because it's a business platform. But you're saying connect with them, but go there and get their email and don't message them on LinkedIn. Is there a reason why? Did you have an experience, or did those event planners say something about don't message me on LinkedIn when LinkedIn has a message platform for messages?
So when I was interviewing all these event planners, right? I mean, some of them didn't even want to get on the phone with me because they were thinking that I was going to pitch them, right? And so after a while, after interviewing, I don't know, maybe a couple of thousand, I was hearing them saying to me, "Oh my God, all these emails we get every day and stuff like that." And I said, "Yeah, you're probably receiving thousands of them." And we know also that there are 300,000 self-proclaimed public speakers on LinkedIn. They call themselves public speaking, but they're not. They've never spoken on a stage before, and they've never spoken, period.
300,000?
300,000. Yeah, if it's not in the millions, it's definitely in the thousands. So what I thought, it was like, oh, okay. And I just said to a couple of them, I said, well, why don't you blacklist those who do? Because obviously that's not where you want to be contacted and how you want to be contacted. And they said, great idea. And I said, oh my God, right? Like I just started, it's my fault. I know. But then I learned that that was not a bad idea, because now they're getting thousands of emails every single day. Imagine getting thousands of emails on LinkedIn too.
Yeah. So what differentiates them? So now they're going to go and they're going to email. What's a key differentiator to show them that you do know what you're doing? Besides all that you do teach everyone, which takes several weeks to learn it all the right way in the right sequential order. But what's just a quick tip that somebody could do?
Yeah. Just ask them if they're the ones who are hiring speakers. Like, are they the ones hiring? Who's hiring?
Don't throw up on them. Don't give them all your accolades. Just first
right. Like, but you don't even
the right person.
Yeah, because you don't even know if you're talking to the right person. Exactly. So what happens is that, just send a short and sweet so you know if it's the right person first. And then this is what do you call, I say it's a relationship based business, right? It's not, I am a speaker, therefore you should hire me and you need to pay me. No, that's very, what do you call it? What do you call that one? Entitled. No, just entitled. The entitlement of me, I'm a speaker, I need to be paid. No, first learn the business side of it, because then you'll say the right things when they tell you they don't pay speakers. What do you say when they tell you you're not a good fit? What do you say when they have no budget? What do you say? Because of what you say, they know you don't know what you're doing.
And you have that in such abundance in your course. And not only that, you show us how to position ourselves. And when you taught us like how not to throw up on them, here, let me go ahead and send everybody my one sheet, my this sheet and everything. You not only show us how not to do that, because it's like meeting somebody and say, hi, nice to meet you, Orly. I'm Aurea McGarry, and I do this, and I do that, and I do this. It's like, whoa. First, see if you even want to have the conversation. First, find out a little bit more about them, be engaged, have a relationship. But then we were really, all of us in your class were really impressed and surprised of all the things you actually did for us. It's like, oh no, I got you. I'll do that for you. We're like, we weren't used to that. You're like, no, I got that. You just give me this much. I will take it from there. And you positioned us all in almost everything the right way. Why is it that you do that? It was such a treat. It was such a treat.
Thank you. Everybody's always surprised by how much I do for my clients. I also don't take everybody on. If I did not fit in the, have you ever walked into a room and not like somebody, even they didn't even talk to you yet, but you didn't like them, their vibe was not good, right? And for me, that's what it is. I only take the right people on. And at the same time, I do not like being sold to on another thing and another thing. Oh, Orly, if you want us to do this for you, you have to pay. Oh, if you want us to do, so that's why I created a program that basically you pay me once and my condolences in advance, you have me for life.
I love that.
Because I do it all for you, and I want to do it all for you because I want you to be presented in the best possible way. Sure, you can take what I give you and make it pretty, if you like, and you should, why not? But at the end of the day, you have it all, and you have it already ready to go. Not only that, is that you know how many other people show people what to do and then say, okay, go ahead, go do it. And how many people actually go and do it? Or how many of us would think about saying, oh, well, am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? Well, that's why when I do it for you, I know it's right. I know it's the way that event planners want to see it. I know you have it all in one place on your computer, and that when they ask for something, boom, you can give it to them. And that brings me to tell you a really quick story about this guy who came on a call with me one on one to just see if he's a good fit or I'm a good fit. And he was all peeved because he went on vacation for a week and he sent out a few emails to event planners. And when he came back from his vacation, he had a few of them that decided to hire him. 3 of them, actually. That's pretty cool. And when he called them back, or when he said, "Hey, I'm back from my vacation, I'm ready," they said, "We hired the first 3 people that responded to us." So I want you to know 48% of speakers don't even respond to event planners. So I asked them right there, "Why are you peeved? Were you on planet Mars for your vacation? Like, where did you go that you couldn't check your email once in the whole week?" You know what I mean? So event planners, what I want you to know is that they did a survey on the most stressful jobs in America, North America, 100 most stressful jobs. Number 1 was military jet fighter plane pilot. Number 2 was air traffic controller. Number 5 is event planner coordinator. Seriously, do you guys really think that they have time to read your book, your website, or any of that before they hire you? They don't.
I can relate because I did events, so I know that is not for the faint of heart. So many people try to throw an event, think, "Oh, I'll go make a lot of money. I'll put on events." Wrong reason to get in it. Yes, you can make money, but you better know why you're doing it. Have a bigger purpose than that. It's not for the faint of heart at all. And so I really do feel for them. But I love that you said that because it's so important that we are time sensitive. And you walk the walk and you walk your talk because you're about to go speak worldwide. You're going to one of my places on my bucket list. You're going to Australia, New Zealand. You're going to be able to see all the quokkas and the kangaroos and all the wonderful animals. I know you're speaking on stages to people, but me as the animal lover, all I can think about is, a Steve Irwin zoo there. But you tell us, because we have you for life. You really do mean that. And I'm like, okay, when are you leaving? And when are you come back? Because Ray, it doesn't matter. I will be working. I will be checking my email. You're still online because we can be online from anywhere in the world, and you take it seriously. You'll be doing your job. You'll be speaking on stages. You'll be enjoying R&R. Your husband's going with you. This is a speaker's dream. All of this paid for by your speaking business. So you are walking the walk. Tell us a little bit about that dream that you're doing right now, that you're going to go in April and have this wonderful opportunity. So give everybody a little bit of hope about if they want to travel the world. This is so doable as a professional speaker.
So let's talk about the 5 stages. And I'm not talking the stages of an alcoholic, the stages of that we speak on, right? So one is we get paid to speak. The other one is pay to play, meaning you go pay somebody to be on their stage. The third one is about speak to sell, which you go and you sell your products or services. The fourth one is a credibility stage, like a TEDx that you did, Aurea. And then the fifth one is your own stage. So sometimes it's okay to have your own events. And so I partnered with somebody in Australia where we will be doing our own event and I'll be speaking on a stage. And someone else heard that I was coming and decided to bring me in for her group of people. So now I am speaking at another event. And it's all in the span of 4 days that I'll be there. Oh my God, 5 days before I get on a cruise ship. I love cruising around the world. And a year ago, my husband said, "Listen, what do you think about this Trans-Pacific cruise?" And I'm like, "Just don't tell me we're going to do this and then cancel on me because I'm going to cry." And I was actually crying because it was my dream come true to get about 5 or 6 bucket list stuff off of my plate. And so the trip is from Australia to take a cruise ship to New Zealand and the Polynesian Islands all the way to Hawaii, and then we'll stay in Hawaii for a couple of days and then continue on a ship all the way to British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia, where we will get off the ship again. And I'm meeting with a couple of people again, because they have stages. I will be there too. And then from there, we're going to hop onto another ship going to Alaska for 7 days. And from there, coming back to Vancouver and taking a train ride, which is a beautiful thing. If you ever get to do that, it's a train ride from British Columbia to Seattle, Washington. And so I'm really looking, and then in Seattle, I'll be speaking on somebody's stage. So I'm really excited about it, the whole thing. And then we're doing our own cruise speakers cruise in September. So we're really excited about the whole thing.
I have to say you are such a living example of, you take advice from people who are where you want to be. That's my advice to anybody watching and listening. Orly is doing this, and she is a wonderful example. She's not teaching because she can't. She's teaching because she's actively doing and taking that dream trip and turning that. Did you see how she turned that around from having, let's do part of it, somebody have our own event. Somebody heard about it, then hired her to do another event. Then she said, all these other things wrapped into, since I'm here, I can speak. Since I'm here, I can speak. She actually will teach you how to take your dream vacation and turn it into a way to get paid. If you want to go to Italy, and she's spoken in Italy and Rome, wherever you want to go, you could turn it into not just profit making, tax write-offs, the whole 9 yards, and your dreams can come true. And I love that. And you can also take advice from people who are doing what you want to do, and we become like the 5 people we hang around with most. And Orly, your guarantee of we're stuck with you for life is so special, because I've worked with a lot of coaches, and once they give you all this stuff, it's like, good luck, here's a group Facebook, and ask your questions in a group form. We'll be there. You get it for 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year, right? But it's still group format. You truly say, hey, hop on a call with me, book a Zoom, and it's one-on-one. Hey, if you get an email, you're not really sure how to respond to it, book a call with me. I'll help you. And I haven't even been with you that long. I already see how much you really do care, how much you really are a woman of your word. And I love the fact you could never take everyone anyway that wants to work with you. I see the importance of you really resonating with your clients, because you can't take on too many and do what you do for all of us. So talk to people now a little bit as we close up. Gosh, I could talk to you all day long, and I will, because I have you for life. So if you don't want her for life too, we're going to have a conversation. Her website, she means it. You can book a call with her and just tell you saw her Get Celebritized. She is the real deal. But talk to us about, in the last few minutes that we have, some golden nuggets, some tips. Give your hope and inspiration to anyone listening that's thinking, gosh, where do I start? Can I? Could I afford this? Is this something I could do? Is this for real? Give us some of your words of hope.
That's really, it's fun that you said that. I have a mastermind once a month for my clients and non-clients, which is called Speak for Profit. So, check me out on LinkedIn if you want to hear about more about that and come. And then also my PGA Paid Gig Accelerator, where I talk about how the industry is and what's needed in the industry, so people don't feel like they have the imposter syndrome. The reason I am saying all this is not only to promote, but to say this, that you want to know what your imposter syndrome is coming from. People don't have a fear of public speaking. Like, people are being told that the fear of public speaking is number one before death. People are not afraid of public speaking. They're afraid of humiliation. And being afraid of humiliation is what keeps people stuck. They don't want to do the wrong thing. They don't want to say the wrong word. They don't want to not do it right, and then they're stuck in analysis paralysis. So my nugget is to listen. There are 3 things that are missing in the industry right now. One is variety. And we're not talking about variety and, diversity and inclusion. So we're talking about variety of speakers. There are none. And then the diversity of speakers, meaning from different walks of life and different stories. And then women speakers. We are still just 1.9% in the industry. That's just crazy to begin with, right? We're in 2024. We're time stamping this interview, but at the end of the day, we are in the beginning of 2024, and we're still 1.9% women. That just kills me. Okay.
Wow.
Right?
That kills me too. Oh my God, need more women speakers.
Right. And the other part of this is that right now we are 1 million speakers short in the world and 1 million coaches short in the world. Yes, a lot of people think that, oh no, there's plenty of everything. Not true, and not getting paid. 1 million speakers are short in the world. That means that a lot of people have fallen off the bandwagon during the pandemic and decided to go get a job because they spent all their money, all their savings, all their resources on the stupidities that they were being told. Sorry, but I'm going to call it what it is, because everything that people are being told is so wrong and so passé and so outdated that that's why I exist.
Tell us what you really think, Orly.
I know, right? I am so
Stop listening to
passionate.
stupid people.
It's coming from passion for this industry. You know, it's not going anywhere. It's still amazing. It's $113.2 billion industry a year. I don't know about you, but go get a piece of the pie. Just get out there. Actually, even if
Yeah.
you don't hire me, go get the piece of the pie.
Absolutely. And Orly, I just love that. I'm so grateful I met you. I'm so excited you're in my life. And you're just, I love you for my friends, my clients to you. It's just like a no-brainer because so many people really think about this and want to do it, but they don't think it could be a reality. They just think, it's not going to happen or it's too hard or whatever. And you really make it simplified. I'm not saying easy. Easy means without effort. It is not without effort, but it is simple because it's not confusing. So, Orly, your website's below, meetorly.com. Y'all got to,
MeetOrlyAmor.com.
yeah, meetorly.com. Make sure that, I mean, if you want, she has all this free going on, their schedule's on there. Also, LinkedIn, she's really active on LinkedIn. Just look up Orly Amor, it's Amor on LinkedIn. Tell her you saw her on Get Celebritized. She'll treat you extra special. Although I've never seen her not treat anybody extra special. But she was just absolutely amazing, and she'd love to know if she heard her on this show. Orly, final words.
If you have a message, somebody's willing to pay for it. So don't give up and get out there.
That's so good. And everybody, like you said, has a message, has a story to tell. You can't live on this earth 10, 15, 20 years without having a story to tell. Something that's happened to you that you can share. And then the older we are, I love it. You know, as women, we always think the older we are and the less opportunities. Actually, the older you are, the more opportunities, the more you have to share with the world. And the more people want your insight, especially if you show up with confidence that I do have a message. I do have a story to tell. So you can't tell me if you're a woman 40 and over, you don't have something very special to share with the world. And Orly is the one that can help you monetize that and position you in the right way to get noticed, to set yourself apart from everyone else. And I just love that, Orly. Orly, you are a gem. I'm so glad you could come in and be on the show today and get celebritized. Meet Orly, Amor.com. I will put everything in the description. Orly, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love you.
My
You're
pleasure.
awesome.
And you know you're going to go hug those koalas, kangaroos, and quokkas
Will do.
for me.
Just for you.
All right. Thanks all for being here on Get Celebritized. I know you learned how to earn more today, so go out and live more. Travel the world like Orly if that is your dream, because you can, and give more from all your prosperity. Now you can give more and help others that matter to you. This is Aurea McGarry signing off. Have a wonderful,